Hey YouTube family, Mr. Black Mamba 305. Here I am with you guys. Today we're here and we're gonna do a coolant flush on a 2007 Honda Shadow Aero, and it's not super difficult. I'm not the most mechanically inclined, but I do little things on my bike. This bike was a 2007. I've had it for quite some time now. It's been sitting for a really long time. I go through a phase sometimes where I want to ride, and then I go through a phase where I don't want to ride. I live here in Florida, and sometimes it gets super hot, humid, raining, and if those are the conditions on the street, I don't really want to ride. So I let this bike sit for like, I'd say maybe 2 years. When I came back and I got the riding bug again, and I wanted to start it up and ride, it was like sputtering. It would just, sputter, sputter, sputter. I knew that was the carburetor, so I had to do some things. The first thing I did was I took out the old gas that was inside of it. I cleaned that out, emptied it, filled it with new gas, changed the gas filter. Next thing I did an oil change. I put a brand new oil filter on it. Changed out the oil filter. Change out the oil, put some new oil in it. The next thing I did was, which I did a few days ago, was do the brake fluid change. At the brake fluid right here. Just did a brake fluid change. I'm not sponsored by SuperTech, but I just did a brake fluid change. Like I said, it's a 2007 Honda Shadow Aero. I'm not sponsored by SuperTech, but this is what I pretty much use. So this uses .4 for the brake fluid replacement. On your motorcycle, make sure you check the seats if it's a .3, .4, or .5. You don't want to put the wrong thing in there. I did the brake change, and I'm telling you, it took me a while. I was pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping, and it took me such a long time to do it. I should have did a video on that, but that video would have ran really long because this thing took me forever to change. But I finally did it, and I took care of it, and that's the next thing that was changed. So the only thing left on this bike for it to change and be road ready again. The funny thing is I update the tag on this bike every year, and then I never ride it, because I'm always saying I'm going to ride, but I never ride it. Guys, first before we move on, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share the video. I'd really appreciate that. My channel has about 5,700 subscribers. If I can, get some more subscribers, welcome to my channel. I like to, I love trucks, I love motorcycles, I love guns. I mostly review guns and stuff like that, but every now and then when I'm working on my motorcycle, I'll make a video. And today's no exception. The video might be a little long, so you can skip towards the part where I'm actually doing the coolant change for this 2007 Honda Shadow Aero or Honda Phantoms 2007. Should be the same video. I didn't really see a lot of videos on YouTube doing the instructions on doing this video, so I decided to make one myself. So the next thing I did, I went in and I took off this cap and I changed the filter. I cleaned up the carburetor because remember I said it was sputtering a little bit. I cleaned up the carburetor, like literally pulled it apart, cleaned out every nook and cranny, put it back. I soaked everything for about 1 or 2 days, went in with some carb cleaner, cleaned out everything to where they were spanking brand new. It's like a brand new carburetor. So I rebuilt the carburetor, put it back together, changed out the oil filter, put the oil filter back, the air filter and the oil filter both changed, brand new. I'm gonna put one of those loud horns on this bike, the kind of really obnoxious ones, just because you don't want to be beep beep. Sometimes people are in their car, they don't hear you, so I'm gonna put a really obnoxious one on it. I have chrome cleaner. This is already shiny the way it is, but I've seen some that they're show ready. This one is just got a lot of finger marks on it from just working on it over the months and years. But I'm gonna get some chrome cleaner on it and really go ham on this bike. Let me turn the camera around so you guys can see a little bit more. The bike in the background is a Kawasaki Vulcan, the red one in the back. I'm working on that too. I just have to tune the carburetor and that's pretty much good to go. But this for the Honda Shadow Aero, I need a brand new tire. For this one, it's 170 over 80 B17. I'm gonna order one of those, and then I'm not too good with changing tires, so I might take that in to have it changed. But in terms of the little things, I do myself. So so the things you're gonna need to get started, obviously, you're gonna need your coolant. Again, this one is Super Tech, you know, and this is made for Honda. You know, it says right there, this is Honda, Nissan, Kia, Hyundai, and Subaru. So this I get this at Walmart. So I think they say the old one was green or blue, and this one is green, whichever. I really don't care. You know, as long as it says for Honda, this is the one I'm going to use. You're going to need a funnel. All right, I chose this one, the one with the. I have like 3 funnels, but this is one I choose. This one really gets down in there and helps with the spillage if you're going to have spillage. You're going to need your tool set. Obviously, you're going to take off some screws, especially the drain plug. You're going to need a little wrench to take that off. And you're going to need a flashlight. And later on, I'm going to tell you why you're going to need a flashlight. I'm going to pause the video, guys, and then I am going to go ahead and just take off. So a couple of things before we go. With this bike, so what we're going to do is we're going to take off the seat. We're going to take off the gas tank, the speedometer. I'm not really going to take off everything. I'm just going to push the speedometer to the side, and I'm just going to get the camera real quick, put it on pause. All right, fam, so how we're going to do this is the first thing I'm going to do is take off the seat. All right, I'm not going to bore you with all that stuff. I'm going to take off the seat. All right, I'm going to, then there's under the seat, there's like a screw. You take that off. I'm going to unscrew the speedometer, these 2 screws, slip the speedometer to the side. I'm not going to take off the old tank. I'm just going to pull the tank down a little bit and cock it. And then I'm going to go ahead, and the coolant cap is right behind this little protectant right there. There's a screw right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to loosen up that screw. And then once the tank is off, just kind of pull this off. At the top of this right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, where my finger is, there is a little cap that locks this protectant with the one on the left side. So I'm going to take that off, so I have access to the coolant cap right there. Once I've done that, I'm going to go under the bike. All right, and right up under the bike, guys, and get right up under it. Don't know if you guys can see it, but you see that that little screw right here, one in the front right there. My finger's on. It has a crush washer right behind it. You want to just go ahead and just break that. And before you do that, gentlemen or ladies, you want to make sure that you have your oil change pan, and you might want to get like a box if your oil change pan is not big enough. You want a flashlight, and the reason why I tell you you're gonna need a flashlight, it's not really so you can't see under the bike. It's just that when you go to under the 2007 Aeros, the overflow tank is right up underneath. The overflow tank is literally right up under here. You know, you have to really get up under the bike. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you have to get up under the bike, and the coolant tank is right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. And the reason why you need that flashlight is so you can see into the tank, because all that dirt and grime gets up under there, and then you can't really see. Sometimes you can't really see if the tank is full or not. And then I'm gonna take off the tank, empty out the reservoir, fill it up back to, you know, where it's the line it's supposed to be at, and then that should be it. I know I talked a lot already. I haven't even gotten to it, but let's get to it. Just gonna do the steps for you guys. So there's a screw here that holds down the back part of the seat. I took that off. For the 2007, there's 2 other screws here. One here, one on this side. You're gonna take off both of those screws. All right, fam, once you take off that seat, all right, that's what it looks like. Then you're gonna take off that screw, and you take that off. unscrew these two pins, move this to the side, and just like I said, move it to the side. You don't have to take off the old tank, and then shift the tank a little bit down, and you know, probably a little bit off to the right or off to the left, or just pull the tank down. You don't have to take the whole tank off. Then you have to take off the gas, you know, the tube to the gas, and the all the other things, unnecessary stuff. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. All right, family. Like I said, once you take off the speedometer, I just kind of rest it over here to the side, and I have that. Now I have to take off this little screw. All right, guys, this come with like a little rubber grommet. I always take that off, just to, you know, because you don't want metal on metal right here. Like I said, all of this stuff I'm gonna clean up super nice. The tank has that little yellow thing. Once I'm done, I'm gonna clean this bike up super nice. This is the last thing I'm doing, and the tire, you know, when they change your tire, you know, greasy hands and all that stuff. So after the tire, that's when I'm gonna clean that up. So after you take this off, like I said, I'm gonna slide down the tank real quick. I'm gonna slide down the tank and then, you know, loosen up that area so I have a little bit more access to this area right here, so I can have access to the coolant cap. When the coolant cap is on, once you go below here, guys, quick tip. Whenever you guys unscrew that screw, right, don't put the pan all the way under there like that, because there's a pressure in the coolant system that holds that fluid inside. And once you go to the cap and release that cap, that coolant starts spewing out. So leave a part of the reservoir, the pan, under, just a little part underneath the cap, underneath where the screw is, and most of it away, because then the coolant is going to spew. It's not going to spew all over the floor. You want to spew into the pan. So that's just like a little trick I've learned over the years. So I'm going to go ahead, unscrew this right now, and then try to gain some access to the reservoir cap, and then move on from there. So I ran in a little snag, guys. My screw was a little hard to come off, so I sprayed some WD-40 in there and just letting it sit for a little bit. I'm going to try to slide down the tank right now and get access to that radiator cap while that the WD-40 does its job. Okay, so again, guys, so all I did was just, you guys can see, I raised up the tank a little bit, leaned it up to the side, and once I did that, access to the radiator tank. So I didn't even have to go in and unplug that screw. So I'll just take this off, relieve the pressure, and then put my funnel in there, and then go from there. So super easy. So, you know, I see on YouTube a lot of people are telling you that you got to take off the whole tank, and you know, you have to take off the hose that leads to the gas tank, and nah, you know, that leads the carburetor. And I just slid it to the side, give myself a little bit of room right there. I don't know if you can see in there, but there's some rubber grommet that right down in there that holds the tank on top of the motorcycle. As long as you don't lose those and they're still on the bike, you're good to go. Just, you know, make sure when you put the tank back on, you don't hear that metal to metal, but you hear metal to rubber. They ain't know the grommets are still on. And all right, let's see if that thing loosen up, and then let's go and start draining. All right, family, I ain't gonna lie to you, that is all the coolant that came out of it, literally. I guess I didn't have any coolant in it. So to be completely honest with you, this is what I did, and I know why it doesn't have any coolant in it. When I was cleaning the carburetor, I unplugged or unhooked some hose here, and a ton load of coolant rushed out. And so I now know that pretty much all the coolant came out that one time. So I'm not surprised that there's no coolant in the reservoir. And good thing I wasn't really riding this bike that much. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why. But I just let it drain real quick just to get out all the coolant out of it. It's not a lot. It's you know, maybe a couple ounces, and it's still draining a little bit. You guys can see it right there. You can see it dripping. Just let that drain for a little bit. Then I am going to, once that's draining, just let it drain out everything. I'm gonna go to the other side and empty out the reservoir, the overflow tank. And like I said, I showed you guys the overflow tank. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right there, that little yellow thing. So it's right up under the bike. It's attached to the bike by one screw. I'm gonna unscrew that and drain whatever little is left in the reservoir, and then fill that back up to a certain point to the lines, and then go ahead and do the refill process. So pretty much what I'm gonna do, once it's filled up and I fill up the coolant from here, I'm gonna turn on, straighten the bike up, turn on the bike a little bit, let it rev up, suck down the remaining coolant down into it, fill it up again till it pretty much gets to the top, lock it, let the bike run for a little bit till the fan turns on its own, and that should be it. So yep. All right, family, I'm right up under the bike. It's still draining. You guys can see that is draining out, so it still have a little bit in there. I'm just gonna let that do its thing for a little bit, you know, so I can get everything out of it. If you guys really want to do a super flush, you would like leave this for a little bit. I have a soccer game later. I could just leave it, let it drain, and then come back and do all that stuff. But I'd rather have this done so I can use my time and do something else when I come back home. So the next process is the overflow tank, which is right here. You guys can't really see it, but right up under here, there's a screw that attaches the overflow tank to the bike. I'm gonna loosen that screw and empty whatever is in that reservoir. Remember when I told you guys you need a flashlight? It's for time like this, so you could actually put it against this and see if there's any fluid in it. I don't really care. I'm gonna take it off, empty it out anyways, and then fill it back up. On the front of this reservoir, there's a cap, literally right here. There's a cap. You just, you know, fill that up to the, there's a line right here that, like, you can't really see it. Let me see. You see the line right there? So we say lower and upper, fill that up a little bit close to the top, level the bike and fill that up all the way to the top, and then put the cap back on, put the reservoir tank. I put the reservoir tank back on, then fill up that tank and then put it back. Let me see if there's any. Honestly, I think it's empty. So if it's empty, that's perfect. I can just fill it up, and that's the next move. All right, here we are, family. So if you guys remember at the beginning of the video, I told you that the coolant was barely coming out, so it was kind of trickling. So I literally just let it sit. I had a soccer game, and so I just went to go do that soccer game. Let me turn on the light. You guys can see it right there. Got a light on. The coolant finally drained out. So what I'm gonna do, that's the drain plug right down there. If I move my finger, see right beside the ratchet, I'm gonna put that back on, and then I am going to, that's what the bike looks like. And remember I told you, I got access to the cap. So all I did was tilt the tank over a little bit, and the little exhaust thingy came in. That's the only thing I have to reattach back on. So the reservoir tank, I can access my reservoir tank from right here. The little bit of coolant that was left in it, I kind of just put a piece of paper towel in there and just took it out. So first thing I'm gonna do is put the drain plug back in, and then fill up that reservoir tank, tilt it, make sure it's level, and then start tapping off, and then start tapping off the coolant. Let me just go ahead and get that started, and then I'm gonna go from there. Once that is done, literally that's all it is. Just take this drain plug right here. If you guys see, you guys can't really see it because it was drained. If you guys, I think I might have recorded that over, but I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna do it once again. So I just came from a soccer game, guys, and I'm pretty much took this is a drain screw. It completely drained out. So let me just take this out real quick and show you. At first, it looked like a little bit at the beginning, but it ended up draining. While I was at soccer, it just drained everything out, and it's a good amount. So now I know it's finally drained. One thing to remember, guys, it comes with a little crush washer right there. I think it's made of copper. Don't lose that. You're gonna need that crush washer to use. If you can replace it, go ahead and do so. If this is the only one you have right now, you want to put it back on, I think it should be fine. I'm just gonna go ahead. So pretty much, I'm just gonna go ahead, put this back on, and then from there, we'll fill up the reservoir, and then fill it up as much as possible. Then turn on the bike a little bit, get those air bubbles out, and I'll walk you through that process while I'm doing it. I have the little thingy hooked up, and I'm gonna turn my flashlight on. You guys can see that's the coolant under there. I brought it up to the level it's supposed to be. You can't quite see it, but it's right at the level. You can see it right there. Can't quite see it, but plugged up my drain hole. It's already plugged in. Crush washer there. Now it's just a matter of filling it up and just let it settle in, start up the bike, and then just get those air bubbles out of it. And that's pretty much it. Let's post you guys up here. All right, fam. So I'm in my garage, and it's a little hot, but I apologize. I'm all sweaty, but here we go. So to make pouring easy, I just pop two oil, one on top and one on bottom. One sucks in the air, one lets out the fluid. I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up right now. And like I said, this one is a blue fluid. So if you get a little green in there, guys, you still have a little green fluid in there, don't worry. It's the same fluid. I think it's the same formula, except this one's blue and the old one is green. So it's just me pouring in right now. I know you guys can't really see me. Alright. So let's bring the camera up a little bit. Get some of these stuff out of the way. Got all my tools here. I know you guys can't quite see it. But that's what I'm doing. All I'm doing is just pouring in the fluid in. That's it. So even though you pour it in, guys, it might seem like it's full, but there might be air bubbles down in there. So you just pour and watch, and you kind of listen for that filled sound. This is nice and clear. Okay, so now, right now, guys, I can see where it's coming, like it's getting there right now. So I pour and then let it go down a little bit. To the point where it fills up. And right down this funnel, I can actually see. I love this funnel, It's like a light blue funnel. You can actually see it come up. Now it's full. All right, so what you want to do now is just want to start up the bike a little bit, and then once the bike start up, you're gonna have a little bit of spillage, guys. It's okay. Once you start up the bike, then just just let it burp the system, and then as it burps, like even right now I'm looking at it and there's air bubbles coming through. When you start up the bike, it's just going to purge it and get all those air bubbles out. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So now move the camera over here. Obviously that's the tank is right there. Do that process so you guys can see. Sorry it's a little awkward, guys. It is what it is. Just I just wanted to help some people out, because for me, I didn't see anybody on YouTube with this 2007. Each bike is different, so that's what we're gonna do right now. All right, here we go. Don't want to tilt it too much, because remember the tank is still kind of on the bike. Turn it on. Whatever. Come on, come on. What's going on? What's going on? Lights on. Am I not getting any electricity with the bike? Is what's going on? Oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm slow as hell. Kickstand is down. Alright guys, I know you guys can't quite see it, but as you start up the bike, like you guys can't quite see. Let me take the camera off real quick. Make it a little bit easier for you guys. My bad. Look down there. You see a little jiggling going on. Pull it down, and what that will do is burp the system. You don't want it to get hot, because obviously coolant is very dangerous. So when it's hot, it's what's used to cool down your bike. So you want to give it a couple revs to make sure it pulls out all the air. See how it pulls down? And that for me, just a couple times, not too much. I saw a couple air bubbles. Okay, I just saw some more again. That's what you want. You want to purge out all the air bubbles out of that. Just like that. Let the air come out of it. And I think, honestly guys, I think that's all that I need. I don't really see too much air bubbles coming up. Alright. Let me go back on the other side. See how I got this tilted? And then all you do, guys, is turn it off. Turn off the bike. All right. Put the cap back on. So, got my cap here. All right. So, put the cap back on. I'm gonna pause this and do that. All right, fam. The cap is back on. You see, if you see a little bit drippy, it's because it was full. And then it has a little rubber thing inside, nice and snug on. So it's gonna put the level of the tank back up, put the speedometer back on, put back on the seat, put back everything on. And then once I do that, then I'm just gonna start the bike. You let the bike run for, just let the bike run for however long it's supposed to run, and then that is pretty much it till you hear the fan kicks in. Let that new coolant circulate through the system, and that should be it, guys. And that is how you guys change your coolant system from your Honda Shadow 2007 Honda Shadow Aero. Sorry guys, I'm a little sweaty. I just came from a soccer game. I do this. I'm gonna put it back together, let it run, and that's gonna be it. All right, fam. So I put the bike back together. I just have to put the seat on, tighten it down. But pretty much that's the end of it, guys. You just turn the bike on, like I said, let it run for a little bit till you hear the fan on there kick in. Let that thing circulate around in the bike, and that's how easy it was, guys. There's a coolant that was off. Dispose of that properly, guys. Take it to your disposal wherever you do that. Right now the battery was like a little drained, I guess, so I'm gonna charge it up for a little bit and then run it a little bit later on, just get some power up. But besides that, that is pretty much a process, guys. Thank you for staying tuned and watching the video, guys. Mr. Black Mamba 305 signing out.